The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a game that's currently on Nintendo Switch. I've been playing it since release day. For any of my newer subscribers, I don't regularly review games, except in very rare cases like when I play a game that's essentially perfect. But before we go any further, I do want to give a special thank you to the sponsor for this video, Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. If you're ready to feel your best while making the most out of your summer adventures, you can stick to your wellness goals with premium, ready-to-eat meals featuring high-quality ingredients such as broccolini, leeks, and asparagus. You can treat yourself to 34-plus weekly restaurant-quality options like bruschetta shrimp risotto, green goddess chicken, and grilled steakhouse filet mignon, ready in just 2 minutes. And if you're too busy with summer plans to cook and you want to make sure you're eating well, with Factor you can skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back outside and soak up the warm weather. And for us, Factor has helped cut down on grocery shopping significantly, which really saves us a lot of time and energy. Plus, the food is really good. So head to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code Stuckmann50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. That's factor75.com and the code is Stuckmann50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. That link is in the description below. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring this video. First off, I have to acknowledge this amazing Father's Day gift that I was given this year. Thank you, Sam. Thank you to Fox and Grayson. I love it. It's perfect. It's one of my favorite things that's ever been given to me. I am so happy with this, and I had to wear it when I did the video. I rewatched my review for Breath of the Wild, and in it I said that it's probably my favorite Zelda game of all time, and that it blew me away, and that there were so many things about it that I had never experienced in a Zelda game before, but that it felt like a Zelda game, even though it was also so new. Tears of the Kingdom takes everything that worked about Breath of the Wild and replicates it. Some things that people maybe didn't want to have replicated, like being able to break your weapons and things along those lines, that never bothered me. Still doesn't bother me here. There are so many weapons you can choose from amongst so many different forms of combat, and I never got tired of breaking weapons or losing weapons. The things that they carried over are exactly the things I wanted them to carry over. I'm so glad that I can still climb mountains and feel a real sense of scope. I still love paragliding down from high altitudes, but this game has taken that to a whole nother level, in that you can go and find various towers that launch you up into the sky where you can scan the land and fill out your map. And then from even higher up than Breath of the Wild, you can float down and examine everything. You can see shrines that are available within reach. There are glowing green spirals on top of them. You can grab your map and mark all of those shrine locations. And just like with Breath of the Wild, you can be up there in the sky and think, okay, I'm pretty sure I could get to that spot. I have enough stamina. And as you're floating down, the world just overtakes you and you realize you're not even close. You've got a whole forest and a whole mountain range to travel before you can get to that place that you just saw. And it's that true sense of running around a real world that sets Tears of the Kingdom, as well as the previous Breath of the Wild, apart from most games, but certainly the Zelda games. But one of the most exciting new things about Tears of the Kingdom are the Zonai devices, because you can use them for almost anything. And that's where this game truly just sets itself apart, because you can build so many different vehicles that travel in unique ways and find new ways to reach locations where it seems like in the past you might think, well, I'm just not ready to get there yet. I need to level up, I need to power up, I need to collect more resources. But if you can build the right thing, you can probably get there. There's a limited few places where you need a specific kind of armor to reach them, whether it's too hot or too cold. But for the most part, the world itself is open to you if you can find a way to get there. I have built so many hot air balloon contraptions using wood and flint and flame devices to just float to places I didn't think I could reach before. And it's so amazing to find new ways to travel in the game. And where the previous game had runes, this game has 5 new powers called Ultra Hand, Fuse, Recall, auto build, and ascend. All of these powers are located within Link's actual arm when it's corrupted, where Hyrule Castle is actually raised into the sky, and there's this poisonous gloom that infects the land. Ultra Hand allows Link to move a select few items around, attach them to build all different types of things. I mean, it's honestly endless. Recall is one of my favorites because that can reverse an item's flow of travel or whatever direction it might have been going. And again, the applications for this power are almost endless. Sometimes it's very obvious, like you'll see the gears of like a clock wheel turning and you know, okay, so if I reverse that, I can hop on that and that'll take me up to where I need to go. But other times you might see something falling from the sky or from a mountain, and if you catch it at the right time and recall it, then jump on top of it, suddenly you're traveling all the way up to the sky, you're traveling up that mountain on this item. I truly don't know how Nintendo has continued to be so innovative with the Zelda games, but they have once again made probably my favorite Zelda game. I had such high expectations going into Tears of the Kingdom, having loved Breath of the Wild so much. I mean, that game truly gave me months upon months, honestly about a year of fun between me and my wife. We both went back and forth playing it. And when Tears of the Kingdom came out, both her and I were like, okay, we have to play this game at the same time. So we've kind of been challenging each other, like, how far are we? Are we slightly ahead of the other person? Have we gotten to a certain point that the other person hasn't gotten to yet? We sort of like have like a fun challenge going of how many shrines we got. Speaking of those shrines though, there are so many ingenious puzzles. And I think they did a better job of limiting the combat-based shrines to something that feels a little less daunting. I don't want to say annoying, but in Breath of the Wild you would encounter those guardian shrines, and those did sometimes feel like, ugh, I gotta do one of these things. Here there are a lot that have groups of constructs, these robotic Zonai-based enemies that are spread out amongst a space, and you have to try to take them all out. But for the most part, the shrines are puzzles. And using the new powers that you have within your arm, they create some of the more interesting and truly ingenious, mind-bending puzzles I've ever encountered in a game. Some of them are easier than others, but the ones that are more challenging, whenever I was able to surmount one of them without having to look up a walkthrough or anything, I felt like a genuine sense of accomplishment. The other feature I love is Fuse. If you have weapons, you can see the durability, how strong they are, and there's a lot of items and various objects that are spread out amongst the world that you might be able to fuse to your weapon, which makes them stronger, but also completely changes what abilities they have. Like if you collect a topaz gemstone, for instance. Topaz gemstones in the game are related to electricity. And if you can connect that to a sword or any other item, then all of a sudden not only are you slicing and dicing through things with your sword, but you're electrocuting them at the same time. And the applications, just as I said before, seem virtually endless. Along with what we all experienced in Breath of the Wild when it came to the land itself, you can go into a map that is just as big in the sky. There are floating islands all over the place. Every single time you think you explored an area enough, inevitably something else opens up about it. That leads me to the depths, because you can go underground as well. And it is pitch black. You have these things called bright bloom seeds that you can throw or attach to arrows that light up the area, and you can explore a little more. But once I realized that the depths was essentially the exact same size as the above ground map, I just sort of sat back and put the controller down and just thought about how much work Nintendo put into this game. There's one specific aspect of it that gives me cold sweats if I were a game developer, and it's the Ascend tool. The idea that Link can choose a certain spot beneath and ascend up through an object, whether it's the actual ground or even a mountain. And if the game tells you that you can ascend in a certain spot, then you have to appear exactly above where you just were in the map, and you have to not disrupt anything. You can't get stuck somewhere. There's no glitches that occur ever. I've never encountered anything. And I just feel like that is a whole nother level of game programming, I can only assume, that would make my brain melt. if I had to make sure that that happened perfectly. That's just so incredible that they've done that and that there's no issues with it. You know, I recently played through Ocarina of Time again last Christmas. It's on the Nintendo Virtual, whatever it's called, and I played through it on my Switch. And, you know, obviously it was amazing. And it still felt like this insane thing when it came out. Like there were no other games like that. And even through to the GameCube when Wind Waker came out, it just felt like the Zelda games had owned this real sense of nature and exploration and combat that no other games ever had before. And with Tears of the Kingdom, I feel that with the underground, the above ground, and the sky. I just have to sit back and really give the creators of this game the biggest round of applause for achieving something that is this masterful and something that I want to play every day for like at least an hour whenever I have time, usually right before bed. It's so involving. And the side quests are so fun. You can find fossils and rebuild them. There's an entire mayoral election in a village with someone who's obsessed with fashion, and if you do that, you get the most fashionable outfit that Link can have. There's friends and family who wonder what someone is doing after dark, and you can follow them and try to figure out what's going on to solve a dispute amongst friends and family. And the temples are also extremely fun and just challenging enough. This time around, you're often paired with someone who is aware of the region, and they can help you defeat the temples while also giving you a new ability. So coming off of Breath of the Wild, I was worried that Nintendo might try to do something so drastically different that it just wouldn't work, or it wouldn't be as good, or it would be compared unfavorably to Breath of the Wild. And I don't think that's happened. I think that Tears of the Kingdom surpasses it somehow. I really don't know how they could make a Zelda game better than this. I'm sure one day they'll show me because their track record is impeccable. But Tears of the Kingdom is so good that just for this video, I'm going to bring something back. I'm going to give Tears of the Kingdom an A+. I don't do grades anymore. In fact, back in the day, I used to give video games a numerical grade. This would have been a 10 out of 10. But I'm just going to give it an A+. I think maybe in the future, if I see a film or play a game or a TV show that I would have given an A+ to, maybe that's the only time I'll give a grade, if it would achieve like that level of perfection. In the case of Tears of the Kingdom, it absolutely does. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.